it's important to understand that when you are vertical and when you have a tribe, there is so much you can learn from it. And I think we heard from Tim, we heard all about baseball, and now from Samir, that audiences and publishers have the opportunity to work with audiences that are completely passionate. And when you actually understand your audience, from there you can begin to understand what insights are. And from our perspective, insights are really a new form of media. And I know that 2 years ago, Bain came and shared a lot of incredible insights around how we use them as media. And what I want to do today is show you a few use cases on how we actually apply that and how we apply it every day at BabyCenter. But before I share all that, and again, there's going to be BabyCenter moms in this audience. There's BabyCenter moms in 22 countries around the world, and we're just about at 20 million users. We're not really just a website, though. For anybody that actually uses BabyCenter, you understand that it's about understanding your due date or understanding the age of your child and then following you on a journey. And whether that journey is an email, whether that journey is on your mobile phone, whether that journey is on Twitter or Facebook, in any of the place you touch us, the website is really just the tip of the iceberg. And so it's a complete ecosystem of engagement, and hence why we were at the Ecosystem Conference. But that's not what I'm really just here to talk about today, so that's probably the last you'll hear specifically about BabyCenter. We really want to talk about understanding and knowing your consumer. And the only people that really have their consumers are publishers. And there's so many experiences that start. So here's one. What is she thinking? Well, she's probably lying there thinking, is she pregnant? And we actually have the opportunity to say, you're here, right now. And what does being there right now actually tell you as a marketer, as a publisher, is you get into her mind. And right there, you're a VIP in a very quiet, intimate moment in her life. But then, there they are, they're out in the world. And what are they thinking? Well, they're trying to figure out what brand is best. I mean, we know that this life stage opens up such a journey of new brands, new products, new experiences, and you get to be right there at that moment that matters, and actually get into their lives and understand what they're thinking about. And then as they grow, you get to grow with that audience, and you get to actually understand what they're thinking about as they grow and how fast it goes. And we all think that as parents, as users, and you get to be there too. And you get to grow up with your audience. And you actually get to evolve with them as they continue to grow and as you continue to learn. So those are a lot of intimate moments that add up to millions and millions of insights if you start to pull the data from each one of those discrete experiences. And we've been spending a lot of time trying to actually understand the 21st century mom. And what we do know about her is that she's incredibly social. I mean, her usage of social media, social media is mass media for her, but she's having like 109 word-of-mouth conversations a week about brands specifically. She's incredibly informed and empowered. 84% of these new and expecting moms actually say that the internet helps them be better informed about their child's health issues. She has huge buying power, and we're not here to talk about the mom market specifically, but this is a market that's spending just $2.1 trillion alone just here in the US. And after becoming a mom, 73% of their purchases actually change. And the choices and the brands they're using change as well. But here's the problem for marketers. She's 3 hours less time to consume media because she's doing so many new things becoming a mom. And in that new life, that she's using 3 hours less a day of media. And the thing that's really falling through the floor, and I hope Nina's not here yet, but magazine consumption is going down 52% after she becomes a mom, followed by radio and then TV. And we're seeing these huge double-digit drops. But taking that and going deeper, you say, well, if I want to understand insights, how do I actually get into that heart and mind, and who are they? And so we know that she's Dr. Mom. We know that she's Echo Mom. She's all these things. And you have to understand that 15 minutes alone for her is not enough to be with the doctor. So how do we as a publisher, how do we as a content producer, how do we as marketers begin to bridge that relationship? And we also know that saving the planet for her, we like to say at BabyCenter, it's not about all the polar bears for her, it's about her polar bear. And once we begin to understand that, we get a lens into understanding about how she thinks about green, and how she thinks about green marketing, and how she thinks about the back label when she's turning everything around in the store. And so those insights, the intimate ones, those insights, the intimate ones, those moments that matter, and the aggregate ones, where we actually look at the data, help you understand all the different hearts and minds of mom. And those are the kinds of insights that drive product decisions, that drive campaign creation, that drive content. And this is not a segmentation, because this is all her. And you have to really understand who she is in order to get into her heart and mind and know how she's psychographically engaging, because all content is not created equally. The way she engages with entertainment media is not how she engages with service media. The way she engages with service media is not how she engages in social media. The way she engages in social media is not how she engages in transactional media. They're all different. But if you actually understand her mindset when she's engaged in those different things, you can begin to talk to her in new and interesting ways. But that's just the beginning of insights. That's just the beginning of the story. The story goes on to actually say, well, insights help you find the right time and the remarkably right place. Because if you don't reach her at the right time and place, it doesn't matter. See, okay, we're in the kitchen, and here, you know, you're here, and has strong cravings. She's in her second trimester, and boy, she's thinking about things you'll see. And he's hungry, and he just got his own shelf in the refrigerator. So like his food. And you actually get to be there too. And you actually get to understand what is the right time and the right place. And so because a site like BabyCenter and many other vertical social platforms have our own communities, we actually listen to their conversations by week. So what you're looking at here is you're actually looking across the bottom every single week of pregnancy. I think this particular chart takes you through 24 months. And this is a proprietary talk tracker where we actually are listening for conversations about mac and cheese. When is she talking about it, and when does that conversation spike? Well, it's no surprise to us that it spikes in the first and second trimester for the new pregnant mom who has just wild cravings for mac and cheese. I used to call that my white period. Vanilla milkshakes, mac and cheese, toast, all white. It was, you know, was the new black for me, or at least that was how I got through the first trimester myself. And then I didn't want to think about it anymore, and that's probably when the scale started to tip. But then all of a sudden I introduced solid foods, and then I had toddlers running around. And all of a sudden mac and cheese was all they wanted to eat. Well, guess what? When we listen into our community, this is when the conversation is happening. This is when you have to place your media. This is the right time and the right place, and you can mine these conversations for real and rich marketing insights. Facebook doesn't do this. Facebook is a place where it gets promoted, and Twitter are places where we reach an audience, but these are where the actual tribes are having the real conversations. And that's really interesting for marketers. So okay, they're buying appliances. Why are they buying appliances? Why is a washing machine important right now? Well, you're here, you're actually able to understand that the machine can't keep up. But why can't the machine keep up? And why in aggregate, when you look at the purchasing indexes for appliances against all moms, why is this the most important inflection point for that? Well, we know from listening to the conversations that this is the right time and the right place. When we see and we asked our moms, how many watch loads do you actually run in a week? Look at these inflection points for first-time moms. It goes from no kids to first-time moms to off the charts as the kids increase in the household. But she wasn't really thinking about that when she was stocking the nursery. And she certainly wasn't appliance shopping in those first few months of life. But when we mined conversations to actually talk to some of our marketers about appliance inflection indexes, we saw that the conversation trackers, they're actually talking about appliances at these key times as the laundry is growing. And that is stimulating over-index purchase behavior against large appliances. This is index in action. You can actually see as the toddlers are starting to walk and crawl and roll in the mud, dirty, dirty, dirty. Well, guess what? What are they talking about in community? They're talking about the best washing machine to buy. And so we actually are listening to those conversations and able to take a 360 back to a marketer and help them plan their media. Because the insights that we had earlier from who that 21st century mom is, well, that gets you into her heart and mind. But these types of insights, now we're starting to plan campaigns. And now we're starting to actually know how to target them.